Jocelyn, next time I say what time is it, you're supposed to
It's
say
tea
it's tea time. God, I set that up for you.
It's rockin' tea time.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Teresa Timms, and I'm here with
Jocelyn
Hidalgo, president of TDR Mortgage in Upland, California. You can find us on the web at tdrmortgage.com. And today's topic, I want to do a home buying series and educate buyers a little bit more on, we talk a lot about getting qualified, what does it take, payments, rates, but there's a lot of other elements to the buying process, that go into it. So let's talk about the purchase contract. Because
I don't think it gets talked about as much as it should be talked about. It doesn't. Yeah.
What she said. And one of the reasons why is you'd be surprised to know probably about 95% of the agents out there don't know how to fill out a purchase contract. And when asked point blank about a lot of the different line items on the 10-page purchase contract, they don't really know how to explain it to a client. And I've, done well over 2,000 transactions. I wanted Jocelyn to join me today because her last position, she was doing a lot of transaction coordinator work along with the other investor related activities. And then her tenure with me, she was exposed to 300 to 400 loan transactions. So she's seen her share of purchase contracts as well. So today, let's talk about the purchase contract itself. And there are classes that teach the purchase contract to real estate agents that are like 4 or 5 hours or all day classes. So we're just going to condense it specific to the buyer, some key points that a buyer needs to look out for, and then also educate agents about the important things, or maybe there's some agents out there that just are newer in the business and don't understand. So we're just going to bring some light to it. So I'm going to show you how I would write a contract in today's market. Today's market is hyper fast. It's a seller's market. So your purchase contract is going to be geared toward pleasing the seller. You're going to be the cutest, most awesome buyer. And to do that, there are some tips and techniques that we're going to share. Jules, why don't you lead us into the questioning, because you came up with a few questions today.
So before we started about purchase contracts themselves, I wanted to ask some questions about agents. So this has to do with the topic anyway. So why is choosing an agent especially important in today's market? I think you kind of explained that, but.
Well, so if it's a newer agent, I'm going to coach that agent before he writes or she writes the offer. When I am out showing property, and I don't really do that. I do it for friends or family. I don't like it. I love looking at houses. That's super, super fun. But the whole part of driving people around on nights or weekends, that's not my personal cup of tea. And that's why I choose to live more in the mortgage space. But I am a licensed real estate broker and own a real estate company. So
why it's important?
Why is what important?
Why is choosing an agent
especially right now
especially important in today's market?
Okay, so you want to write an offer on a house. So I find this ABC Spruce Street, 123 Spruce Street. I call the listing agent. Hey, listing agent, I'm going to come in hot with this buyer. We want the property. How do we need to write the offer? How do I need to write the offer to get the offer accepted? Because I want you to pick us. How many offers do you have? Oh, you have 10. What's the highest offer you have? Wow, 500,000. Okay. So if I were to come in at 505 clean, not ask for closing costs, not ask for stuff, then we would have a good shot. Yes, you would. Okay. So before I would even attempt to write an offer, I'm going to call that listing agent. I'm going to find out what is important to the seller. Does the seller want to close fast? Then I'm going to write 20 days or 25 days. If the seller wants 60 days, then I'm gonna basically, I want to be coached by the listing agent because I don't want to go back and forth with a bunch of counter offers. So I'm gonna write the cleanest, neatest offer that can just get signed and executed by the listing
Right.
agent. So sometimes, I don't know many agents that would even write an offer without
Wow.
talking to the listing agent.
Unless
But-
they're like, I mean, you'd be surprised. At my last job, I mean, when we had listings and we would get offers from agents, and we'd be like, "Did you talk to this agent? Did you talk? Did you talk to-" Like,
Why did they write it
Why-
like this?
yeah. so it's you'd be surprised at how many.
So when you're working with a good agent, you really have to listen to that agent because they're writing the offer for you. I mean, they're writing the offer to help you get the property accepted.
Mhm.
So there's certain things that they're going to do and ways that they're going to structure it. So was there another question on here?
Yeah, one more.
Oh, okay, one more, sorry.
Where can we find your video? Because you go more into depth on this topic. How to choose the right real estate agent.
Yeah, I spent a little time on this topic and did a blog post. So you can go to my the SoCalLoanPro.com, and we'll put a hyperlink in the comment section so you can find it. And it has a checklist. And so there's all kinds of things that you can do to basically validate your agent or vet your agent. You know, I'm all for working with the hot agent. Like I'm down for that 100%. But your hot agent also needs to be highly skilled and experienced, or you will flounder around.
Mhm.
And that's really just a joke. But when you're looking at the websites of these agents, the big teams, the ones that have all the great presence and they do a lot of marketing or social media, that doesn't mean they actually have units under their belt or experience. Or if it's a team, you could be working with the flunky buyer's agent that's only had their license 4 or 5 months.
Yeah.
Don't work with the agent that's had their license for. And I'm sorry, new agents, but you want to work with somebody that's got some units under their belt because you're going to be best served. So
Especially in this market. I mean, it's such a hot market where you can't waste 1, 2, 3 days waiting for your agent to figure out how to write an offer.
that's right. Thank you, Jocelyn.
You're welcome.
Okay. Do we have it clear to?
Yeah.
Are we
that's
clear
it.
clear to talk?
Oh, and it's on. Is it on your YouTube channel too? The video.
Yes.
Yeah, but it doesn't have the checklist. So my blog post literally has a checklist. It has the hyperlinks to the DRE. It has the hyperlinks to. You could do a lot of vetting yourself.
Okay.
Researching yourself, or there's a thing of questions. Let's say you're talking to 2 or 3 agents and you're like, gosh, I just don't know. Well, ask them the checklist. So it's an actual physical checklist for people to use.
Or you can come to us, and we have preferred agents all over
Yeah.
California, all over the U.S.
No, mostly in Southern California.
I mean, we know people. Like,
Yeah, we can
Teresa
totally
has
point you.
friends,
Yeah,
yeah.
we can point you in the right direction 100%. If
Teresa
I don't know
has
somebody.
so many friends.
Oh my God. So
she's
many.
so popular.
So popular.
Okay, that's it for agents.
Okay.
Now
Let's
do
go into
actual
contracts. We want to keep this at 15 minutes today where we're at.
We're at 9.
9 minutes. Okay, we're going to blow through this. We might have to do it in 2 parts, but let's kind of blow through it.
Let's do it.
Okay. So on the first page of the purchase contract, the very top, yeah, you can take it over there. At the very top, close of escrow. So that's what we talked. That's really important. Number 1, what kind of loan are you doing? So if you write it for 30 days, can your lender even close your loan in 30 days?
Yeah.
If you're in a real competitive market, I don't know, one thing that I do is if I'm not sure I can close in 30 days, but I sure as shit am going to give it my A1 best effort, I would rather ask for forgiveness than permission. I'm going to say write it for 30 days. And if we need an extra few days or an extra week, if I've performed beautifully like I always do, if I've been very communicative to the listing agent and made the listing agent look good and kept them up to date, I've never had a problem. But you really want an agent needs to talk to the lender to find out. And so we do sometimes purchases with 20 days or 21 days or even 17 days.
Depending on.
Yeah, depending on the buyer and the loan and things like that. So close of escrow is really, really important. What's the next one, Joss?
Earnest money deposit, so EMD.
So what would be your advice?
Mostly everyone always says, oh, $2,000. Yeah, $2,000
If it was 1998.
yeah, if you're buying like a little $200 house. But this is where you're showing skin to the seller, right? You're letting the seller know, hey, I'm game. I want to put money in.
I want to play.
I want your house.
Yeah.
So that's.
So if you're writing an offer on a $500,000 house, I'm going to say $10,000, 10 or 15,000 EMDs, maybe even 20. If there's 20 offers, you're going to.
You have to be competitive.
Yeah. I'm saying if you've got, 20 might be a little extreme.
Yeah. Depending too what kind of loan you're doing. Maybe you're doing FHA. So, hey, put $5,000 down, to show them like I'm doing FHA, but I'm willing to put my money in.
Now, Jocelyn, if I put a $5,000 deposit and the seller cancels on me, I don't want to lose my deposit.
You don't. So you have different intervals, and that's kind of what goes next. So you have.
So you're protected.
Yeah, you're protected. And you have different intervals throughout the contract with different dates that allow you to still get your money back.
So let's talk about, so what she's talking about, the intervals that she's speaking of are contingency periods. So that's largely on this second page here. Can y'all see it? Anyway, this one is the appraisal contingency. So that's standard 17 days. The loan contingency is standard
21 days.
And what's the other one? The home inspection contingency.
17 days.
Got it. Now,
those are, again, the contract is set up to where, if agents don't really know what they're doing, you as a buyer are still protected because you have all these days, right? But when you get an agent that knows what they're doing and want to make your offer attractive, those are dates they can negotiate to let the seller know, hey, we can move fast, get a home inspection in 5 days, 7 days, loan contingency. That's why it's good for the agent to have really good relationship with who is doing your loan so that they can talk about, hey, what do you think about loan contingency? How long are your appraisals taking?
Yeah, my agents, when they're writing offers, they'll, like Sonia, I love it because she calls me Teresita. Teresita. What do you think? And I was like, I'll be like, okay, do it for 10 days. Do it for 10 days. But then I know that appraisals have kind of been taking a long time right now. And I know the buyer still hasn't got me everything and I don't have all my money together. And I'll be like, okay, so what if you do it? Let's do 14 days for everything, but let's do 7 or 10 days for the home inspection. So what I like to do as a real estate professional, if I'm out there showing a client, I don't want to wait 14 days and then they find out that there's a problem with the heater or they don't like the neighborhood, or sometimes they find problems to get out of the contract.
Yeah.
So if they're going to cancel because of the condition of the property, I want them to do it in the first 7 days.
Fast.
A purchase is so labor intensive with all the paperwork and all the stuff that we have to do. So I want to get in, I want to get out. 7 days is a little bit tough though, because then you have to have an inspection company that's available. So I would say usually what we do is we'll do 7 to 10 days on the home inspection. We'll do 10 to 14 days on the appraisal, 10 days on the loan approval. So it just really depends on how competitive it is. So now, Jocelyn, what if you don't have your loan approval or you don't have your appraisal in? Am I going to lose my I put 15,000 in. Am I going to lose my deposit?
Not until you remove your contingency. So you have this removal contingency form that is also an extension to your purchase agreement.
Right.
Seller could fight, right? Like, oh, you said per contract you were going to do this. Yeah, but per contract, I have to remove my contingencies by this date. If I don't, I could still get my money back.
Yeah, it's normal and customary that most agents protect your money.
Yeah.
And they're the agents that I work
escrow
with.
Companies.
Yeah, escrow companies do too. Loan officers do too.
Yeah.
I mean, if something happened and someone loses their job and they haven't signed off on the loan contingency and they've lost their job, even if they have signed off on the loan contingency, they lost their job. A lot of times you have people that are reasonable, listing agents that are reasonable, sellers that are reasonable. If you lost your job and you can't buy the house, a seller oftentimes is not going to keep your money unless they're jerks. Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
We're at
And we don't know
15
any,
we're at
we don't know
16
jerks.
minutes.
Okay.
So
So contracts. So let's keep home inspection, loan, appraisal. Okay, so we covered the contingency part. We can go into the fees. So do you want to table that for next week or just keep going? What do you think, Jules?
We can table it for next week because I want us to be able to have the time to.
yeah,
Go
not
into
rush
depth.
through it.
Yeah.
Okay. I like that. I
Yeah.
like that. Do we have any questions here? Wow, the questions are pouring in. This one from Raylene. Why is Jules so cute? I don't know, Raylene.
She's just beautiful.
But how can she see me? I'm not even on the camera.
Oh, did I say Jules and not Joss? Ugh. Okay. So let's talk about, okay, so what we're gonna do this Monday then. So I'll do a quick market update, and then we'll go back into the contract thing, and we'll talk about fees. Who pays for what?
And most importantly, the question that everyone asks, hey, when do I get my keys?
Yeah, that's the question.
Tune in next week.
When do I get my keys?
Yeah.
And we have all the answers, so we're gonna let you know.
All
So
of them.
for if you're looking to buy, sell, or refinance in Southern California, pick up the phone and call us at 909-920-3500. We'd love to hear from you. Please think about subscribing or think of any questions you have for the future.
Yeah.
We'd love
Check
to
out
hear
our
from
blog, which is very informative.
you. Oh my gosh, so informative.
Yeah. Right. We'll see you
Okay.
guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.